Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, the date is Sunday, October 8th, 2023. Time right now is 6:40 in the morning. I got up at around 5 o'clock and I checked my WhatsApp messages, the various groups I have. And I mean, literally 2,000 plus messages in each and every group. And it was all focused on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Okay, even though the majority of my members are Indians, I mean, literally everyone was sharing their views and topics, and the number of videos that were shared, the number of photographs that were shared, very, very graphic, and some of them were really shocking. I mean, you can literally see a building falling down. You can see whole massive, I don't know, this almost like a massive tall building. Al Jazeera is reporting, and then there is Twitter videos being shared, and it was crazy. And then obviously I was like, what the hell is going on? Because, yeah, I'm aware of the headlines that Israel has declared war, but then it was not limited to just my WhatsApp groups, and I have quite a number of them. When I put on Facebook, there also I was like, people are changing their flags and people are sharing content and they are tagging me, which I don't like, and I don't like to be tagged for anything. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So what I did was, wait, let me just have a sip of my coffee. So what I did was, I decided to do my own independent research. Okay. Now, here's the problem that I'm facing. Okay. Here's the problem that I'm facing is, if I were to check Arabic channels, they support Palestine, they support Muslims. If I check US-backed channels, they support Israel, they support the Jewish people. Like, for instance, I'm just telling you, according to US, Russia is bad and Russians are, the Russian military terrorists, and Ukraine is very good. But if you go back in time, it was Ukraine was filled with Nazi supporters and sympathizers, and they were actually sharing videos about it. So the narrative keeps changing. Okay, so I have actually a little bit of a challenge here, and I want to make one thing very clear: I am not an expert. I am not an expert on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. I'm just a spectator. I'm just an observer. So I will share my thoughts and opinions in this video. And my request to you is, if in case you feel I'm wrong somewhere, please highlight it and share it in the comments. Instead of bad mouthing or sharing profanities and saying, yeah, you are a this, you are a that, you are supporting. We are all learning. Nobody is an expert. At least I'm not an expert. So if you are an expert in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and you are completely aware, neutral, you're an authority on the subject, fine. Or if you're like me and you have a different point of view, put the timestamp and just say, over here, you are slightly wrong. You're wrong about Iran or Hamas or Muslims or Jews or whatever. And so that we can learn, at least we can learn. Like in my WhatsApp groups, there is a constant exchange of ideas respectfully, even though people disagree. Okay. Short introduction. I'll keep it very short. My name is Loy Machedo. I'm a personal branding strategist. I help people get well-paying jobs in Dubai, UAE, especially Middle East, because I was there for 40 years. People also book my services for coaching, consulting, for personal views or professional opinions, because they feel my opinion is kind of different. And people share with me problems they can't share with anyone else. Details are put down below. Okay. So now comes the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Please, excuse me. I have to drink coffee. Espresso. Eee. Okay. So now I've written a few notes. Now, here's the first problem. Depending on which media that you choose, you'll get a different narrative. For example, Al Jazeera is Qatar sponsored, so they support Muslims, they support Palestinians. I'm not saying that they are very happy about what has happened with Israel. No, but they are very pro-Palestinians. Okay, there are many Arab states. There are many Arab media that portray Israel or paint Israel in a very negative light. That is why if you go online, you would see videos which, for a lay person like me, is very confusing. Like, for example, you would see videos like Israeli soldiers grabbing a small boy or a small girl from their family, or they show this happens on Twitter, or they show the news, Al Jazeera, or whichever channel. There's a bulldozer that bulldozes this Palestinian farmer. They cut off the water, they displace these people. And then there was this video, this incident where a couple of Jewish men were passing by. They were Christian nuns. They were spitting on them. And then there are these Vice documentaries which are there on YouTube, where it seems that Jewish settlers can just go into a house and drag you out and throw you out. Palestinian people, where they stayed for many generations because the law has changed. So on one side, you have Israelis or Israeli soldiers being painted in a very negative light, in a very like you begin to wonder, why are you doing that, man? Why you? And I think the most horrific part is when you see a small girl shot dead, a small boy shot dead, a family shot dead, and then you see all these Palestinians having a coffin where the dead body is concerned. In fact, this was very viral. I didn't speak about it. There was a funeral where they were taking this person who's died, or a small girl, and then suddenly Israeli soldiers all surrounded them and started hitting them with batons and this and that. And so on one side, you have all Israelis, soldiers, being portrayed in a very bad light. Okay, so that is one. The other side is, if you see the talk shows of Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Daily Wire, American media, Jewish media, Palestinians are portrayed in a very negative light. They show bombings, they show terrorists, they show killing. And then even, sometimes you tend to get curious and you're like, okay, let me see what is the history. Here also, it's such a confusion, because Ben Shapiro, when I saw his brief history about Israel-Palestinian conflict, he portrayed Israel as a very democratic country in an Arab Muslim, complete sphere, and they are extending the olive branch to make peace. So Israel wants to make peace. It tried to come out with a one-state solution and two-state solution and all this. And then on the other side, you have Hamas, which is branded by America as a terrorist organization. What was it? I was saying that they are a Sunni organization, Hamas, okay, sponsored by, I don't know, is it Egypt or somewhere? And so it's a militant organization. And even though they are Sunni, they are sponsored by Iran, which is Shia. Okay, so they are busy supplying them with all the weapons and everything else. And they have made it very clear, we never will recognize Israel. Israel is our biggest enemy. No matter what you suggest or propose, we will always say no. They have the Muslim Brotherhood from Egypt, and it's a non-stop bloodshed. It is like the common man is suffering. Now, another area which I keep getting confused is, The Palestinians are very happy with Hamas. They keep celebrating. The entire nation, I've never seen, I don't know, you can maybe share a video or a link. I've never seen Palestinians celebrating for Israel. I even a small bunch, I don't know, is it maybe they are being very selective? But whenever there's an attack on Israel, all the Palestinians unite and they're very happy. Even now, it seems Hamas has stated we have fired 5,000 rockets. I don't know how far that's true. Land, air, sea, 5,000. And they are actually killing not only soldiers but civilians. And I've seen some of the graphic videos. I was like, oh, bloody hell, man. Ladies and, men and people. But if you see the Palestinians, they're very happy. And you begin to think like, why are you happy? Like, shouldn't you be unhappy? Like, so there's the confusion. Like, okay, you're happy. Is it because some injustice was done to you? Now justice is being served. So that confusion is there. Because remember this: if it was evil, why would they be happy? So is the entire Palestinian population, are all of them bad people and only Israel is bad? It's like how I started when I told you America brands Russia as evil. But if you ask the Russians take US as evil. But then you can cherry pick and say, yeah, this Russian guy ran away from Russia and he says Russia is evil, Putin is a dictator. But then is America's track record perfect? I mean, if you look at them, taking over countries like Vietnam, and then you have the Iraq war, weapons of mass destruction, which they claimed and all that. So US also is no saint. So there is so much of confusion even in media. Even today, for example, I can assure you this much. If you were to have an opinion, why is he barking? If somebody's come, if you have an opinion against Israel, okay, on your whatever, whether it's your YouTube channel, whether it's anywhere, or you have some opinion about Jews, you are immediately branded as anti-Semitic. Like, for example, in France, okay, in France, they want freedom of speech, they want freedom of expression, and it's okay to mock and make fun of Islam and Prophet Muhammad, Charlie Hebdo. But you do not have the same rules where it comes to Jews or Israel or whatever. So you have these two different set of rules. Some say double standard. So there's always this confusion. Now the problem here is it's human lives which are being lost. Okay. Yesterday or day before, it seems the Jews celebrated the holiest day. What is it? Yom Kippur or something? It's the holiest day, Day of Atonement. And it was symbolic because it was the 50th anniversary, because they have been celebrating from 1973 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong here. And the reason why it seems Hamas sent all these 5,000 bombs is because it seems a few days ago, they killed or arrested 200 Palestinians. So the Hamas was very angry with that. And there was no reason for that. So now here you have one issue. On the other hand, you have the Prime Minister himself, Netanyahu, who has been very unpopular. I mean, this has been circulating even before. Israel is fed up of Netanyahu. I don't know if he's a good guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. He has been the longest serving Prime Minister, 16 years. Right now, the reason why Israel is ganging up against him, all of them, is because he's trying to change the Supreme Court, which he has done successfully, some rules. He's trying to change the parliament to his favor. He wants to stay in power even after 16 years. And whomsoever tries to rise up against him, he tries to destroy the competition. Okay? And he is known for embezzlement of funds. He is known for corruption. And the thing that people hate about him, apparently, this is my research. Once again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It seems that he is making the claim that he is the only savior. He's the only one who can sort everything out. Nobody else. So he's more like a Trump on steroids, so to speak. And he really wants to be in power. He doesn't want to lose that. And another issue is, because I told you, Israel is a democracy. On one side, you have Jerusalem, which is the holiest city in the world, where you have Christians and Muslims. On the other side, you have Tel Aviv, which is supposed to be modern, LGBTQ and gay, transgender, this, that. So it's like Italy. Italy, you have the Pope and you have Christianity, but there you also have the mafia. So where there is extreme good, there is extreme evil. Like even in Saudi. In Saudi, you have Mecca, Medina, you have the holiest place, but you also have these terrorist groups. Okay. So now the question comes: what is the conclusion to all this? Where do we draw the line and say, okay, this is good, this is bad? See, a few years ago, UAE surprised everyone by signing up the Abraham Accord with Donald Trump. They bought in UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan. And now the surprising thing is Saudi, which is supposed to be hardcore Muslim. I even saw this video where they were celebrating Yom Kippur. They bought a Jewish guy in Saudi to celebrate. And in UAE also, they have been making these bold steps ever since the signing took place. Jewish temples and Jewish holidays, and inviting Israeli tourists. So there's been a consistent and focused effort into making peace with Israel. Okay, all the Arab nations. Peace is always good. Okay, but now you have Hamas, you have Iran, you have the Muslim Brotherhood, you have Egypt. You have those people who are saying, no, I'm sorry, we cannot. And they are looking at UAE, they're looking at Saudi as, you betrayed us. So what do you do there? How do you make peace between Shia and Sunni? And Shia and Sunni is one of the oldest, I think, battlegrounds for a religion fighting within itself because of differences of belief systems. See, what I personally feel is, this is me, okay? One is religion, where religion is concerned. You can never have two separate competing religions give up their ideologies and say, we agree, we'll throw all this out and we'll form a new religion, or we'll agree to your side or you'll agree to our side. That is never going to happen. Second one is, remember, when you have like Israeli soldiers shooting a family, example I'm giving, let's say a mother, father died, and now the child has nobody, or a husband, he lost his wife, he lost his kid, he lost everyone, and now he has nothing to live for. There are people who cannot go to work. There are people who cannot earn. There are people who can't go to school. There are people who can't do anything. I mean, you're pushing people to the brink. You're pushing people to a corner. It's like, Putin. Why they will never kill Putin is, it's like chasing a wild animal. It'll run. But when you corner it, it turns around and then it starts showing you its claws and this thing, and it becomes a do or die. And if you corner Putin to one corner, he will be like, you're trying to kill me, I will kill everyone and I will die. It's like kamikaze, it's like I'll press all the buttons and all the warheads will release. You kill me and all of them. So nobody is a winner. It's like a nuclear war. Nobody wins. Okay. And I would, like I've always told you, I wouldn't be surprised if Putin and Biden are actually talking to each other. They're actually talking. And maybe even Zelensky is like, Zelensky, listen, you do this, you do that. They are actually instructing them. See, just look at the double standards where Europe and all these countries are talking crap about, Russia. They are still taking oil from Russia, man. Come on. They are criticizing India. Oh, you took oil from them. But the oil that India takes for a month is what Europe takes maybe per hour or per day. So this double standard, it forever remains. And keep this much in mind. US needs wars. It needs wars. It needs Afghanistan wars. It needs Vietnam war. It needs the Iraq war. Why? Because they are the major suppliers of weapons. They don't manufacture products and services like Taiwan. Services they manufacture, but they don't manufacture any like goods or anything that is affordable. So the only thing that they have is weapons. And if everyone stops buying their weapons, their whole industry, the economy collapses. So US survives on like Lockheed Martin and all this. Buy our weapons, buy our jets, buy our ships, buy our bombs. I'll supply to you even if you're my enemy. I'll give you at a discount, a throwaway price. Use it so that the economy can run. Remember, even if you still don't believe me on this, remember, it's the if you're sick, the pharmaceutical industry benefits. If there's a disease, they make billions. The shareholders make millions or whatever. But if you're all healthy, if you're not sick, who will buy the medicines? The pharmaceutical industries will go out of business. If they heal diabetes, if they heal blood pressure, if they tell you what to eat, what is right, if all of you live a healthy lifestyle, the pharmaceutical industry will lose billions. Just imagine if nobody takes any vaccine, any medicine, any this thing. How will you run the hospitals? Who will pay salaries to the doctor? Do you know the in US itself, there are so many companies and investors that invest in hospitals. And when you invest, you want returns. If you invest, you want profit, right? You are not investing to make it a charity organization for free. So there is a business in having a war. There's a business in making people sick. There is a business in creating all this confusion. So now is the the this conflict, is it the same? I don't know. I don't know. Is Netanyahu involved in it? Maybe like how they had 9/11. When 9/11 took place, Bush's ratings went way over the top. Republicans, Democrats all came together and agreed whatever Bush wanted, and that's how the Patriotic Act came into being. And the name sounds very nice, Patriot. You're a patriot, yes. But the act was there was nothing patriotic about spying on your own citizens. And if you think US is all goody goody, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, they exposed the underbelly. And are they bad people to tell you that or you're being spied on? Is Google, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, are they your friends taking your data, giving you for free? Oh, use this for free. See, there are so many avenues and areas that you need to think, discuss, and look into. I'll just conclude by telling you this. Depending on which media that you're a fan of, whether left media or right media, uh, you'll get a narrative. If you listen to Muslim-sponsored media news channels, they will always focus on Muslims are good, others are bad. Like, for example, Jazeera hardly talks anything good about the BJP or the Hindu nationalists. BBC, not very big fan of this thing. It seems sponsored by George Soros. So whatever India does, even send someone to the moon, they'll only highlight India. What about the poor? What about the downtrodden? Now, they are not saying something that is wrong, but then you don't appreciate anything that is good. On the other hand, if you look at India's media, that is in the good books of the government, everything the government does is good. So which one do you believe, this side or this side? The same way, what narrative would you subscribe for? Would you agree with the people of Palestinians who are celebrating or very happy and saying justice has been done? Would you support Israel and say, no, this is not the way to go about? We always wanted peace. You're not making peace. I would just say that it all depends on which media you're subscribed to. And secondly, end of the day, whichever side you're subscribed to, remember, it's only the politicians and people in power who are having the last laugh. It's not the lay people. The lay people like you and me who are there. I mean, just think about it. of innocent family that was celebrating its festival. Nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with the war. Father, mother, brother, sister, children eating. Suddenly a bomb explodes. What was their fault? Wrong place, wrong time. Even whether it's a Palestinian family or Israeli family. I mean, there are so many Indians and Pakistanis who get along so well in the Middle East countries and abroad. But then once you bring them to the battleground, finish. There's so much of hatred. So I just hope peace prevails. People dying, lay people suffering, benefits nobody. But then again, this is the business of war. What do you do about it? And this is politics. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And like I said, I'm no expert. Feel free to correct me where you think I'm wrong. Love to listen to your point of view. Good, bad, ugly, feel free. Comment below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.